We're live on YouTube, y'all.
We are?
Yes.
Hey, YouTube! Welcome to our... What's a good little opening? I guess we should have like a down, down, down. And now you have the Clemson Orientation Ambassadors. Starting off, we have Janeda Williams and Emma Shank, the two undeclared orientation ambassadors. I don't know. I don't know how to further that, how to make that better. But yeah, you're muted. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna put this in the actual thing. All right, I'll wave.
If there's anybody watching on YouTube, we're going to start in a bit. Just going to let more people circulate in.
I'm that dog in the background. I'm so sorry. I don't know whose dog that is. I'm like, every time I hear the barking, I'm like,
I think we're just going to get started because this is still going to be recorded. All right. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the Undeclared live stream. My name is Carice Brown, and I am a junior management major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I am serving as a team leader for this year's orientation ambassador team. Today, I am joined by two ambassadors, and I will let them introduce themselves.
hey y'all, I'm Janeda Williams. I am a junior marketing major from Greenville, South Carolina. I am so excited to talk to you all today.
Hey guys, my name is Emma Shank. I'm a sophomore secondary education and English major from Cincinnati, Ohio.
So today, I will be asking them some questions. This live stream is meant to be undeclared specific questions, but we will answer a limited number of general questions at the end. If you do want those general questions answered at the after the live stream, there will be an Instagram live Q&A on Monday, June 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And to go over a little bit more of our different platforms that we're going to be utilizing this summer to engage with our first year students. We're going to start off with Instagram. And that at name is at Clemson_orientation. Also going to be utilizing TikTok, and that at is Clemson Orientation, as well as podcasts, which will be available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and that name will be Clemson orientation. And with those podcasts, we do that they'll cover various topics to help incoming students with their transition to Clemson University. And then I'll also be doing personal outreach, where students should be getting an email from their orientation ambassadors sometime this week. And then finally, of course, YouTube, which is what we're streaming on now. And that name is Clemson Orientation. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And if you,
That bell.
so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, into asking the ambassador some questions. So first, Janeda, how was your transition to Clemson?
My transition, I thought it would be. I'm a first generation college student, so my mom, both of us, we were going through all this together, trying to figure out, what I need to get, the computers I need to get, classes I need to take. But a lot of all of the advisors that I spoke to were very, very helpful. All of the orientation leaders that I spoke with last year were very, very helpful. So yeah, my whole transition was not bad at all, just because I did have a lot of the help that I didn't think I was going to have. But yeah, it was not too bad at all. Thank you, orientation.
Same question for you, Emma.
Yeah, my transition was also very smooth. I live about 7.5 hours away from Clemson. I'm from Ohio, like I said. So I was really worried that going that far away and not knowing anybody, that it would be a really difficult transition. But everyone was very welcoming and supportive. And I started out as an undeclared major. So that also considered, I was worried that I would be kind of left out of the group or different than everybody else. And that was not true for me at all. Everyone around me was very supportive and welcoming in that way.
Okay. So, Emma, what has been your favorite academic memory at Clemson, and then your favorite non-academic memory?
So, favorite academic memory, this past semester, before I declared a major, I was still exploring things, and so I was taking a criminology class. So, not really related to my current major at all, but I was interested in it. And I remember one class we were watching this documentary about mental illness and crime. That's something I'm very interested in and passionate about. And I remember going up to the professor afterwards and just talking about how interesting I found the documentary to be and how passionate I am about those things. And he offered to help me in my research on that topic and a paper that I was writing on that topic. And that was super special to me because that he was not a professor in my major at all. He didn't have to help me with that at all, but he was so passionate about that topic that he reached out and helped me anyway. And we're actually still working together on that paper. So that's my favorite academic memory. That was really, really cool for me. Non-academic, probably the very first night I was a Clemson student, actually. This was before classes even started. A bunch of my friends and I on our hall and in our dorm went swimming in the lake at the docks. And like I said, I didn't know anybody coming into college. So that was a cool experience to just get to know completely random strangers. And that was the first night I kind of like felt a part of the Clemson family and how welcoming that is.
Same question for you, Janeda.
I'll start with favorite academic memory. So I am a business marketing major, like I said. But one of the classes you have to take is a lab class, a science class. And I told my advisor, I was like, okay, I love chemistry in high school. It's going to be easy. Chemistry is going to be nothing. It's going to be awesome. And then she looked at me and she was like, Janeda, are you sure? Chemistry, people, I mean, even, engineering majors and pre-med majors struggle with it. I'm like, no, girl, like, I do not want to take geology. I do not want to take astrology, chemistry. That's what I want to do. I love chemistry in high school. Chemistry did not turn out to be what I thought it was going to be. Obviously, we were at Clemson, so it's a little bit more rigorous than I intended. So I will just let you guys know. First exam I took in that class, I got 68, and then the second one I took in there, I got a 54. And then on the third one, I think I got like a 46. And then in order to pass the class with a C, I had to make an 80 on the final exam. Obviously, that did not seem possible considering the grades I was getting prior. But I buckled down. I was like, you know what? I do not want to take another science class, especially whenever my lab was going pretty well. So, like I said, I buckled down and I ended up making a 96 on the final, ended up with a B in the class. So that is one of my favorite academic memories. It just lets me know, and whenever I tell that story, it just helps people know that it's gonna be tough, but if you buckle down and get to it, then it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be very rewarding to see how all your work paid off. Favorite non-academic memory? I want to say it probably was just a night that I went, or I'll just say I was in Cubs, the living learning community, and we all in Douthit lived on the same floor. And I don't really have one memory, but one thing that I do cherish and will always cherish is the fact that we would all bond and just go to each other's rooms and just chill out and hang out. And we would all have our classes together, so we'd also hang out and do our homework together. In my room and stuff like that. So yeah, I will forever cherish that memory.
Okay. So, in terms, so Emma, Emma, you were a former undeclared student. So Janetta, tell those watching this live stream, tell them what you do. What you do, how are you connected to the undeclared major? Yeah, Janetta.
Okay, sorry. I work at the ASC. I've been a student worker since my freshman year. And so I was just an office assistant there for the first couple years, or for my first 2 years. But I'm sorry, your question was what do they do at the ASC? So yeah, at the ASC they house all of the advisors for the undeclared majors, and I work with them in order to file their paperwork and all that jazz. So I've seen and I've been around a lot of the things that the ASC offers, but I'm sure that Emma could definitely elaborate on what exactly they could help her with or help you with at the ASC.
Yeah. So getting into that with the undeclared, how was that undeclared process on?
So before my freshman year, my advising, I was told to pick 3 majors I was interested in and kind of go through all the other majors and kind of cross off what I wasn't interested in. So that's kind of what the beginning process is like. It's kind of just rooting out what you're not interested in and finding out what you are interested in. And then going out throughout the rest of the year, you're advising, it kind of depends on what type of undeclared student you are. So for me, I was the type of undeclared student where I had no idea what I wanted to do, and that's why I was undeclared. So a lot of my advising was kind of getting my thoughts on what I was interested in, talking to professionals in different areas that I was interested in. But there's also other types of undeclared students. Some of you might have a few majors picked out. You might have it narrowed down to 2 or 3. I did not. So if you have it narrowed down, your advising might be a little more focused throughout the year. Then there are also some undeclared majors who maybe are trying to get into a closed major, and that's why you're undeclared. So your advising could look a little different there. But very generally, it's about narrowing down your options and learning more about potential majors.
Okay. And thinking back to that, how has your overall experience been with it? Going through your freshman year, how has the overall experience been?
My experience has been very good. Before coming into college, I kind of expected that as an undeclared major, they would kind of just leave you to figure it out by yourself, kind of say like, all right, well, let me know when you figured out your major. But that's not how it is at all. There's a lot of resources and support that I use that help me make that decision. I definitely would not have been able to decide a major on my own. So my experience has been really good in that I didn't expect to be getting all the support that I have gotten from advisors and from the Career Center and other things like that.
Okay. And what are those? I mean, you just mentioned a couple of them. What are can you go into depth about those resources?
Yeah, so the big one I utilized this past semester is the Career Center. So there are different options of what kind of meeting you want to have. I had a meeting where we went through the career interest inventory. It's basically a survey you take online And then you meet with a counselor in person and go over your results, where you go through different personality traits you have that might correlate to different majors and careers. Um, so that's the big thing I did this semester. And then with advising, basically what I did in advising, the resources I used was just talking to my advisor through about different possible major and career paths. And one thing we used a lot in that aspect was the what if feature um, is that on CU Navigate, I think, where you can enter a major in and see what the rest of your semesters would look like. So that's a big resource I also used to kind of look at potential paths for the rest of my years in college based on different majors I was interested in.
Okay. So now you're in the College of Education. So why did you choose your major? What
So
led you to choose that one?
yeah, I kind of went back and forth between a lot of different majors my first semester, but I didn't really, it was kind of just in my head. I didn't really use those resources as well as I should have first semester. And then second semester, I started talking to professionals in those industries. And that's really what helped me make my decision, along with the career center opportunities I talked about. So I was thinking about possibly physical therapy or occupational therapy along with education. So what I did is I reached out to professionals in all of those industries and was able to either talk to them or shadow them or both. And that was kind of the deciding factor for me.
Okay. So Jeanette, just the viewers can learn more about you. Why did you choose your major?
Um, Honestly, I chose my major maybe a month before I applied to Clemson, and I'm still trying to figure out why I just chose my major. But a lot of people told me that I can speak a lot, obviously, and I can sell them anything, which is, I guess, a really good thing. So yeah, I decided to get into marketing because I love getting to know people, and yeah, just that's pretty much where it came from. But I'm also a poli sci minor, if I can get into that. I just recently got into politics because I was working on someone's campaign the summer before I came to Clemson. And so, yeah, I just immediately just stuck that minor in there to see where it would go. So, honestly, I do not know what I want to do with my major, but we'll see where marketing poli sci takes me. So, yeah, I'm undeclared as well, guys, pretty much. I don't really know what I'm
So thinking back to your first year, thinking back to your freshman year, Janeda, what's a piece of advice that you would tell yourself now looking back?
A piece of advice I would tell myself now looking back. Um, I would say, well, whenever I first started at Clemson, my first thing I did was join the organization. I started off doing freshman council, and that was one of the best things I've ever done at Clemson. And if I could turn back, I would just say, cherish all those moments. Freshman year, it's gonna be new, it's gonna be fresh, but you have to realize that everything, there are gonna be, I don't know how many incoming freshmen we're gonna have, but there are gonna be all those other people also going through a fresh, new um, adventure, for their first year, and they're gonna want to look back and be like, okay, so how did I utilize this year? Did I spend it, being afraid of what I could do, or did I actually get out and, try to cherish some memories or try to create some memories to cherish? So yeah, if I could look back, I would just say you shouldn't have moved so fast. You should have just took a second and cherished everything that you were doing because it's going fast, y'all. I'm already a junior and it sucks.
Same question for you, Emma.
I would say, both generally and applying to undeclared students, I would say use the resources and opportunities that are given to you on campus. I know I've kind of already touched on this, but my first semester freshman year, I was kind of just going with the flow, not really taking initiative or personal responsibility with my academics. But second semester, I kind of realized you're going to have to make it a major decision eventually. So that's kind of when I started to use my resources and reach out to people. So I would really encourage y'all to do that because not only will it help you build your network and give you resources extending beyond graduation, but for undeclared majors specifically, it will help you make your decision.
Okay. And so I know one of the things is that concerns like a lot of people, not just being undeclared, but in general, is that need to graduate on time. You know, 'cause some people like to pick up a double major or even a double minor. So when you're like, are you on track to graduate on time?
Yes, I am still on track to graduate on time.
Okay,
I switched probably the middle of last semester, and I'm still perfectly fine.
great to hear. Um, so like, what are like the classes that you'll be taking? Is it more of gen eds? Just trying to get those knocked out before you actually go into your major. What are the classes like?
Yeah, so it depends a little bit on what type of undeclared student you are, like I was saying earlier. But for me, I knocked out most of my gen eds first and second semester of freshman year. So first semester I had mostly gen eds, and then psychology was something I was interested in exploring. So I had one psychology class thrown in there. And then second semester, I kind of realized I wanted to explore a little bit more. So I finished off my gen ed second semester and then had a psychology class, a sociology class, and a criminology class. So very generally, it's going to be working on your gen eds and then throwing in a few things you want to explore, but it's kind of a case by case basis as well.
Okay. Also, as a reminder to those watching, you can also put any question that you have in the chat as well, or in the question box at the bottom of your screen. Um, so, like, just so that they'll learn more, are there any clubs, organizations that y'all are in?
Yeah, so I am pretty involved with Central Spirit, which is like the spirit section for sports games and things like that. We support athletics on campus. I'm also involved in Clemson Miracle Dance Marathon, which is obviously raising funds for miracle kids in our hospitals here. Um, I was specifically on the morale team. We're creating the dance and everything like that this year. And then also starting in the fall, I'm going to be involved in our honors wellness program. So I'm going to be a wellness ambassador, which is basically just promoting wellness and offering students ways to practice those aspects of wellness as well.
And I am a part of, as said, I'm a huge advocate for CUSG. I am the president pro temp of Senate. That is the big organization that I'm part of. I also helped co-found a marketing club this semester where we help, or it's just a huge club that's still in the works that we're trying to figure out a way to help advertise local businesses and local clubs and organizations, just get free advertising for them in order to build our portfolio and in order to, give free advertising. And then I'm also a part of Sister to Sister, which is an African American woman organization here on campus. And yeah, things are fun. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. That would be really bad. But yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. So like how do y'all de-stress like when it comes down to finance week or if it just comes down to having those papers? How do you de-stress, Janeda?
Well, Carice, that's just a great question considering the time. How I de-stress. I am a big stickler for oil diffusers and just oils in general, just getting just natural things. I've just now gotten into that. So the way that I de-stress, I just pop on a couple tunes, maybe some Erica Badu or some Jill Scott, and I plug up my oil diffuser and put on some lavender or some eucalyptus. I was telling Haley earlier, I've also gotten into artificial fruit flavors. I've gotten into watermelon and strawberry. I know it does not actually come from a strawberry, but it smells like it, and I'm less stressed after.
Yeah, I like to work out when I'm stressed. Like that's how I get my stress out. So I go to the workout classes at Fike. Um, I'm sure the ones at Douthat are great too. I just live closer to Fike. So I would go to the bar classes. Those were fantastic. I loved them. And then my roommate also got me into yoga. So I started doing that this year as well. Definitely relieved a lot of my stress, especially during finals week and things like that.
Really, Emma, we might have to do yoga together. I want to get into that. I really want to get into that. So,
So now looking into, Emma, you're in the College of Education now. Janeda, you're in the College of Business. What is it like to be in those colleges? Emma, you can go ahead and start.
Um, So I haven't started any education classes, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about classes specifically. But I do love my advisors, my new education advisors. The undeclared advisors are fantastic. If you're watching this, you're fantastic. But I do love my new advisors as well. The whole atmosphere is very welcoming, I think. The education advising is held in Old Main, Tillman. So I love that building. So I love going there for advising. Don't know a ton about the college yet. We'll see, but I do love it already.
You got Janina.
And for me, I am loving business at Clemson. Especially, this is a great time to be a business student at Clemson. Consider we have a huge building being built on our campus. But yeah, I've had a really great time in the classes that I've been in. Specifically, marketing. This is a shameless plug. Marketing is a really fun major. I took a marketing metrics and analytics class, and that kind of helped me figure out that I do enjoy what I'm doing and I am in the right place. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, it just helped me figure out that I'm doing what I love, and it's very, very interesting. My advisors are very welcoming, and like I said, I was a part of the Cubs living learning community, so I was able to meet a lot of awesome people within my major. So I'm gonna say Carice, like me and him, we met in Cubs, and we've been close ever since because of that atmosphere that was created in the College of Business. So yeah, very, very thankful for that.
I mean, honestly, that's really all of the questions that I had to ask about you both within the undeclared college. Is there anyone who has a question that's watching currently?
And if not, I could always sing for you. And Emma would sing, right? Emma,
Of
you
course,
got
yes, yes, of course.
Are we able to call people by name?
Yeah, I mean,
Call them out, Janeda.
I just want to, because I see Tammy's, watching. Tammy, if you have a question, if you want to just pop in and say hello, that would be cool. It's really hard since, we cannot actually physically touch you guys and be around you. I just want to see what you guys are up to and how you're feeling about Clemson. And if you have any worries, scares, wait, do we have?
yeah. So we have a
No.
question. It says, oh, this is actually from Haley. It says, how do you balance your extracurricular involvements and your academics?
I don't.
This is something that I've learned with like the brief training I've had for my job as a wellness ambassador that's going to start in the fall. But what I do is I like plan out my schedule. I'm a big planner. So I kind of like plan out my weeks. That's one piece of advice. If you didn't use a planner in high school, definitely use one in college. I've definitely utilized that. Just like planning out my days and knowing what I'm going to have that day has really helped me stay balanced and make sure that I'm staying healthy mentally and physically and emotionally and all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest to you guys. I'm still trying to balance. I'm still trying to figure out how to, continuously write in my planner because I've figured out that I'm just a very spontaneous person. I will agree to something and not remember to write it down, or I will know just in my head, oh, I have something to do, but I will always forget it. So yeah, I will second Emma in saying, please get a planner. Shameless plug at the ASC, we give out free planners, so make sure you come out and get one. We have plenty for you all. They will be set up there at the beginning of the school year. And I will also shameless plug for the ASC. I utilize the academic advising and coaching there. And I had Jessica Owens as my advisor, and she just helped me figure out like what your priorities are. Because especially if you're trying to be in extracurricular activities and also get your degree, it's hard to figure out where to put your time and your effort. So she really helped me figure out just what my priorities are. What do I want to get out of all of this? But also making sure that I'm staying on track to get my degree as well. So yeah, I would say utilize the ASC as much as possible.
Okay. Actually, we have another question. It says, what would you expect from your first meeting with your advisor?
Yeah, so it's gonna vary with undeclared majors. It's gonna vary a little bit from person to person depending on you know, who they are and what their goals are. But I would say pretty generally that your first meeting will be talking about um, the majors you're interested in, rooting out the ones you're not interested in. On the pre-registration survey, you're going to be asked to give three of your top majors that you're interested in. So it's probably discussing those and those classes. And then kind of from there talking about what a schedule looks like and how to balance trying out those classes, but also getting some gen ed requirements out of the way.
Okay. And we have another one. It says, how many gen eds do you have to complete?
This is for undeclared, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I didn't see the question.
Yeah, this one was coming in from YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay. Emma, I would say I don't think it'll look the same for business. So
Yeah, I'm not positive on that. Um, it kind of depends also whether you are trying to go, whether you know whether you're trying to get a Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts. So like for me, I had to get more credits in a foreign language because I was trying to get a Bachelor of Arts, whereas you wouldn't necessarily need that for a Bachelor of Science. So it will depend a little bit on what you're kind of looking towards, if that makes sense. And it also kind of depends on the credits you bring in as well. Like I did not have to get a science requirement because I brought that in from APs. I didn't have to get an English requirement because I brought that in from APs. So it kind of depends a little bit on the credits you're bringing in and whether you're going for a BS or a BA.
Great question.
Annie, where are you from? If you are willing to tell me where you're from, and tell me your favorite animal. Let's start off small. We're just getting to know each other.
I know one thing. Can either one of you go over like the whole open? Oh, she's from Philadelphia, the Philadelphia area. I think Jada froze. Emma, so because Janae's frozen actually. It just popped into my head, then I just like lost it. Can you go over the whole? I know you mentioned earlier about like open major, closed major. Can you go over that, or I can help you with that as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So there are some majors that aren't necessarily open to everyone at the same time on campus. So like a few I know off the top of my head are communication, nursing, um, I think engineering also, where you might need a certain GPA requirement or certain prereqs to get into that major. So it's not necessarily guaranteed that you can just join that major whenever you want. So like at one point I was thinking about possibly nursing, and my advisor said, well, it's not guaranteed that you would get into that major if you applied for it. So that's the only thing is especially when you pick those top three majors, you have to pick at least one that is open so that we can guarantee that you can get into that major.
Okay. Actually, I have two more questions coming in. It says, what are some of the academic resources available to students? I think this is just as Clemson as a whole. Um, I can go ahead and start on that one. Um, so some resources is the Career Center, um, Michelin Career Center, which helps with, interviews, resumes, those mock interviews as well. You have the Academic Success Center, which where Janeda works with, and and they help with, like that they help with counseling, they help with those academic counseling. I mean, as well as your professors and your advisors as well, and you can utilize each other, the students as well. Um, those are also very great resources to have, because they can also improve, how you work and how you study.
Mhm. Yeah, I would also say you guys probably hear this a lot from college students, but definitely utilize office hours. I know you hear that a lot, but like I was saying earlier with my favorite academic memory, like I approached that professor who's not even in my major, and I went to his office hours and he helped me writing this paper that's not even an assignment. It's just kind of a project on my own. So professors are definitely willing to help you. Um, with really anything you need as long as you approach them. That's the thing is there's a level of personal responsibility where you need to take initiative and go do that and it's going to help you out in the long run.
And then another one is, what's your favorite spot on campus, Emma?
Um I like the amphitheater just because it's like it's overlooking the reflection pond and the library. It's a great view, especially when it's really nice weather. It's a great place to lay out there and study. That's probably my favorite place on campus.
I had to say for me, um, if I was saying to study, I'd probably say it's my room, honestly. Just because I like some quiet at times. But if I was gonna go in terms of other people, I would say the library. I do work in the library, with the Adobe Digital Studio, which we have, um, and I just study there as well. Get to just see people just walking past, see my friends, and I just say hello and everything. Um, so that's like those are my two favorite places to study.
Yeah, I definitely use the library a lot during finals week. So I like to study with a lot of noise, but during finals week, I kind of needed to focus more. So I was definitely on like the second and third floor of the library a lot when I needed like a little more quiet.
Mm. If no one has any other questions, there's Janeda right here too.
Hello, I'm back, guys. So, both of my nephews were on two separate screens playing Fortnite. So, that is that was the problem. Both of them were playing each other. That's just a whole world I will never understand, but whatever. Did Tammy answer?
Yes,
What is that favorite animal?
Tammy is actually her mom. Um,
Oh,
her name
okay.
is Philomena. I hope I'm saying that right. It's Philomena, and she's from the Philadelphia area.
Look at there. Did y'all talk about some local shops and businesses around? Well, too soon. But did y'all talk about any common places down there?
No, not really. We just answered. Actually, we just answered two separate questions. One was, um, yeah, one of them was just, what are your favorite spot? What's your favorite spot to study on campus?
Ooh. This is super cliche, but I love the amphitheater. I love sitting out there, looking out in front of the pond, and then you can see the library behind that. It's just such a beautiful scene. But if I had to have a second, that was kind of close to my heart. Um, the Senate chambers. I am always in the student union in those chambers, utilizing that space and that printer. That is where I'm studying all the time. Also, I will say, third floor of the library. If you want to choose a floor in the library, third floor. That is where I'm always at. So I guess I can split up my time.
I'm always on the 5th floor.
Oh, you're a fifth floor boy.
I work there.
Okay, well, since you have business up there, I'm like, if you got no business on the fifth floor, don't be on the fifth floor. Third floor is where it's at.
Might have to check it out.
It's just quiet and they have really nice I like those glass offices that always get booked up whenever you want one, but they're just really cute to look at.
If no one has any other questions, we can go ahead and end it. Remember to check out those emails from your orientation ambassador. We are having Instagram live. Instagram, we're having their live next week on Monday, June 8th, at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you did want to answer those general questions, talk to some of the orientation ambassadors. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube and watch that first video. That does.
That bell.
That does with that with transition. It will help out with that transition to Clemson. Get some pieces of advice. Yeah, that's all we have. But
And yeah, I will just say we have a Zoom social this Friday. Do not forget to show up. It's going to be trivia. We are planning to do 4 different types of trivia. We're going to do Clemson, music, memes, and sports. So if you know anything about any of that, show up and show out. You might make us proud. You might just do something. So yeah. Thank you, Carice. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the ambassadors. Thank you to everyone who joined.
All right. I will see you guys, and go Tigers. I don't even know if that's